live. We're live. My eyes. Seriously, I can't see anything, you guys. All right. Oh, that's my hat.
First of all, this is not your hat. Second of all, read the agenda, Robbie.
Stern looks.
Just start with stern looks.
Oh. That belie our inner delight to see you all again. Oh.
It's not time to... Oh, all right. I didn't have agenda item about stopping looking stern. I wanted to just have All right, we can stop the stern looks now. I wanted to start with something surprising. Sometimes in psychology class, my freshman year of high school, I found out that the strongest bonds are formed when initially you don't like somebody, but then you learn something about them that makes you like them a lot. Those are the strongest types of bonds. So I wanted to seem like an unlikable, grouchy sort of person so that when my smile comes out, we can form the strongest bond. Maybe that was a little bit of a digression.
That was very
it was maybe too strategic. It was, but that is my job when formulating the agenda, is to come up with items that are...
Ella, he did not find his hat. He found my hat.
I can't find my hat, and covering my head is the more important priority.
This hat is...
Tell them what it's called.
It's called the Genius Hat, and when I am in the depths of despair because I'm trying to get my work done and I need some genius and I can't find it, I wear that hat.
You have just proven why you do not need this hat right now. Because Robbie just finished her work on Cookie Chronicles Volume 2. She has been working on it for months. She finished it a few hours ago. She took a short, invigorating, and not quite enough nap. That made her at least functionally conscious for us here today. But that's why I feel comfortable wearing the Genius hat, because I'm the one that needs the Genius now. Robbie doesn't need the Genius. You get to take a Genius break.
Yes.
At least for a couple of hours.
All right.
Thanks. Here we go.
Don't expect anything from me if I don't have my Genius hat on.
So Robbie tells you about Jell-O cake. Robbie, tell us about Jell-O cake. What is Jell-O cake? What role does it play in our story?
Jell-O cake is a Bear family tradition. Every birthday that is had, we have a Jell-O cake.
Okay.
And the Jell-O cake is basically a sponge cake layer, then whipped cream, then another sponge cake layer, and it's frosted in whipped cream. But the important secret is the sponge cake has been doused with a highly concentrated, like jiggler version of Jell-O.
Yes.
You just pour the Jell-O into the
You first make many holes in the sponge cake with a fork, not a chopstick, with a fork.
And then while the Jell-O is still hot and liquid, you pour it into the sponge cake. Then you put it into the fridge and you let it firm up.
Yes.
We will have a slice of Jell-O cake for you tomorrow.
We will. We'll eat it tomorrow for you.
Yes.
Unless it gets eaten tonight in a fit of enthusiasm.
It is the most delicious.
It's wonderful.
And maybe we'll direct you to the recipe somewhere. We have
I have it on a blog post. I have it on a blog post. You just say, Matthew tells you about artichokes. So the very first time I met Robbie's parents, Robbie brought me to Chestertown, and it was my 25th birthday, and Robbie's mom made me a Jell-O cake. And I was delighted. It was very nice of her. But she also fed me an artichoke. Like, that was dinner. Dinner was an artichoke. And first of all, I'd never had an artichoke. And second of all, how could one piece of vegetable be a dinner? Like, Robbie's family doesn't eat like other people's families.
Well, it's because we'd have one artichoke for dinner and then like 12 pieces of Jell-O cake.
I didn't know that. I wasn't prepared at the time. So I panicked, seeing that it was just one piece of vegetable being offered to me for dinner. And I said, I don't like artichokes. As I was meeting my future wife's mother for the first time, trying to make a good first impression, I turned down her peace offering.
This is good life advice. Don't ever do that.
But you know what I did?
Yeah.
I made a negative first impression.
Yeah, that's true.
And followed it up by years of never doing anything that rude again, creating the stronger bond.
I see.
All right? So looping back to our original...
But what ultimately happened?
What?
Mom made a whole new dinner for you.
Okay, by whole new dinner, she made a bowl of noodles, but it was delicious. It's exactly what I wanted. She made me some somen and memi.
A whole new dinner, yeah.
Okay, you could call that a whole new dinner, or you could say one course that was quite satisfying. I'm just saying, don't exaggerate. It wasn't like a 12-course replacement.
Boy, you're lucky Mom isn't hearing this, because...
I was very grateful. I was very chagrined. And boy, those noodles were good. And then, here's the thing. When I tried the artichoke, it was so good. You take this delicious thing, you dip it in butter and salt, and you scrape the delight from the leaf.
Artichokes. They're my favorite.
Okay, so that's a little back history. Why are we telling this? Because it's Alden Swanson's 12th birthday.
Justin, thank you for pointing it out. In the Daily Minute today, if you, on our YouTube page, you'd find our Daily Minute for today.
Thank you for being a multi-platform user, friend. All right, because I haven't even posted that.
It shows us pouring the Jell-O
little
into
demonstration.
the Jell-O cake.
So Alden is 12. Alden came in for the story hour and consented to be hugged and sung to.
We're not going to do that again.
We're not going to make her do that. Yeah. She's
once a year
doing something right now. But we're going to celebrate Alden later. We're going to eat the Jell-O cake.
And we'll save a piece to eat with you.
All right, here we go. Matthew tells about artichokes. Matthew reads part 2 of chapter 8 of the McCoys.
Excellent.
Let's get to the matter at hand.
Yes.
I am ready, friends.
Oh,
Are you ready?
Conrad and Beckett.
Take up your book if you have one, and if not, open thine ears. And let's get to listening. So, just a little bit of recap. Moxie is in the lunchroom, and she has decided that Tracy Dublinger is the culprit. Tracy is the owner of the purple pencil that Mr. Hammer found under Eddie's case, gave to Principal Jones, and is the new piece of evidence that Moxie is going with.
Yes.
But Milton just pointed out that tooth-obsessed Tracy Dublinger would never have chewed on the purple pencil, which has bite marks all over it, because it would get little flecks of paint on her teeth. So Moxie is very discouraged because Milton, using his powers of observation, has just disproven her leading theory. So she's discouraged. We find our heroine in the midst of plunging despair. Please adjust your emotional barometer accordingly. Here we go. If Tracy didn't do it, and Bob didn't do it, there are only 2 remaining possibilities. The perfect and wholesome Emily Estevez, and the bizarre and brainwashed Leon Magruder. I glance over at Emily. She is slumped over the lunchroom table, her head resting on her arms, which are folded in front of her. Her tray is right next to her, food untouched. I'd go over and continue my interrogation, but I'm not sure I have the heart to wake her up again. On one hand, if I could prove that Emily stole Eddie, the Eddie Award would be mine. On the other hand, it seems impossible that Emily would do something like this. She's just so good. And she really dislikes soup. She'd make such an excellent friend. But I'm starting to wonder if, rather than try to find a replacement for Maud, I should just go it on my own for a while. I've learned from Annabelle Adams that friends can get in the way of the cold-blooded decisions one has to make to be a top-notch detective. In Volume 2, Rose-Colored Glasses, Annabelle has to choose between saving her best friend Eleanor from a burning lighthouse and rescuing a group of kindergartners from a sinking tugboat. She saves everyone, of course, because she is Annabelle Adams, but she saves the kindergartners first, which makes Eleanor so angry that she eventually joins forces with Annabelle's sworn nemesis, Dr. Fungo, but not before gaining incredible strength after being bitten by a radioactive otter. Do you remember earlier that Moxie was worried about otters? I think this might be why. Which is a long way of saying that, for the time being at least, it's probably best that I don't get too close to Emily. The stakes are too high. But if you tied me to a tree and threatened to let fire ants lick peanut butter off my kneecaps until I agreed to pick out a new best friend, Emily is the person I would be most likely to invite over to play croquet and not eat a steaming bowl of clam chowder. I am an excellent judge of character, and my gut says that Emily is 100% innocent. I love this page of illustrations, Robbie. Which means there is really just one remaining suspect. Leon is sitting by himself at the far end of the lunchroom. He has spread his mashed potatoes out across his tray and is drawing in them with his finger. I sit down across the table from Leon and give him my most intimidating stare. But he doesn't look up. "Hey, Leon," I say. There is so much pow, zap, and zowie going on that I don't even know if he can hear me. "Hey, Leon," I say again. A little glob of mashed potato flies off Leon's finger and hits me in the elbow. "Hey, Leon!" This time Leon does look, as if he's being interrupted by a very important person from another country. What?" he says. "I need to ask you a few questions," I say. "Okay," he says. He seems excited. "What are you doing with your potatoes?" I ask. "Oh, man," he says. Oh, man. I'm working on a new comic about a superhero. He's part chicken and part hamster and part motorcycle and part lemonade and part..." "Leon." "Yeah? What do you know about the disappearance of our beloved mascot, Eddie?" "What?" he says, blinking at me the way that criminals do when they are trying to pretend that they have no idea what you're talking about. "Do you mean to say that you don't know that Eddie has been stolen?" I ask. "Is Eddie that owl?" I can feel my blood beginning to boil. For a 4th grade student at Tiddlywump Elementary, not knowing who Eddie is might be worse than stealing him. Try to stay calm. "You seem a little nervous, Leon," I say. "Why is that?" "Oh, one of my pencils is missing. It's very upsetting." I look at the tray of pencils sitting next to Leon. It is a set of 24 or so colored pencils, and one of them is, in fact, missing. Oh, that's terrible, I say. Sometimes with criminals, you have to make them think you're on their side, so they will get comfortable and slip up and accidentally give you important information. One time, in Volume 9, Annabelle on Ice, Annabelle spends an entire week living in an igloo and sharing whale blubber with a bank robber just to find out his mother's maiden name. Which pencil is missing, I say, as innocently as a 5-year-old on the first day of kindergarten. The most important one, says Leon. The purple one! I glance down at the set of pencils. All of them are different colors. It's like looking through a prism, but the purple one is not where it should be. And then I notice something else. All the pencils have been chewed up. Let me see your teeth, Magruder, I say. Leon flashes me a huge toothy grin. And when he does, I see all the colors of the rainbow. Tiny flecks of pencil paint dot every tooth in his mouth. Leon has just moved from mere suspect to public enemy number 1. Clearly, I am looking at the owl thief. Now I have to change my tactics. Now I need to get him to admit to actually stealing Eddie. Could you say that again, I say? Which of your pencils is missing? The purple one, says Leon. The purple one! Oh, how I wish that I had a tiny recording device hidden inside my earring like Annabelle Adams does. What if I were to tell you that your pencil has been found, I say. You found my pencil, says Leon. He is very excited. Now is the time for my nice guy routine to end. I have Leon right where I want him. He was found at the scene of the crime, I say. There was a crime? Leon's eyes light up. Clearly I'm speaking his language. Who did it? Don't play dumb, Magruder. But Leon doesn't even hear me. Was it Dr. Oblivion? The popsicle pirate? The killer koala? Leon is in orbit again, and I'm not sure how to get him back down to Earth so I can continue my interrogation. When Maud and I were teaming up to solve a case, I would start things off by being mean and loud and terrifying to rattle the suspect. And then she would come in and be nice and calm and friendly, so that whoever we were interrogating would feel relieved and get comfortable and suddenly give away some critical piece of information that would basically solve the entire case. But Maud is not here, and I don't know what to do. How did you lose your pencil, Leon? Says a voice from beside me. It is Milton. I have no idea how long he's been standing there. I've got this under control, Milton, I say. Once again, he is ruining my investigation. Did you have it on your way to the principal's office? Milton says this calmly, which would be all right if he had been invited to participate in this interrogation. But all of a sudden, Leon does seem more calm. For example, he's actually looking at Milton. I decide to see how this plays out. Even though he doesn't know it, Milton is doing a pretty good job of filling Maud's nice guy shoes. Did you have your pencil on your way to the principal's office? Says Milton again, even more patiently this time. Leon looks at me, and then at Milton, and then at me, and then at Milton. He's blinking a little. Did you have it on your way to the principal's office? Milton asks for a third time. This time something clicks. Yes, says Leon. Did you have it on your way back from the principal's office? Leon blinks a few more times. No, your genius hat is too hot. He pauses for a second, and his eyes light up as if he had just invented the fork. No, when I got to Principal Jones's office, my pencil was missing. I decide that it's time for a little more mean and loud. Where did you go once you left Mrs. Bunyan's classroom? I'm leaning over Leon and sticking my nose in his face. It isn't pleasant, but it's necessary. To Principal Jones's office, he says. I can tell he's getting worried. Did you stop anywhere along the way? Did you by any chance pay a visit to Eddie, our beloved school mascot? I ask, not very quietly at this point. I did, said Leon. I guess I'd never noticed him before, but he was so cute. I couldn't help myself. Newsflash. Leon has just admitted to being at the scene of the crime. Was it before or after morning announcements? Asks Milton. It's time for a little more nice guy. I have to say, Milton's instincts are pretty good. It was exactly during morning announcements, says Leon. I was standing by the case, and morning announcements came on, and that loud buzz startled me so much that I... Dropped your pencil, says Milton, with the calm and kindness of a friendly grandfather. Yes, says Leon. That's exactly what happened. Right before you stole Eddie, I ask, leaning in like a hurricane that's about to send 40-foot waves crashing down on Leon's head. I'd never steal anything, says Leon. I fight for the forces of good. Milton is pulling on his right earlobe with that faraway look in his eye. As I stand there wondering whether I should go get Principal Jones, call 911, or put Leon in a chokehold, Leon reaches into his pocket and pulls out a tiny little tub of lip balm. But instead of rubbing it on his lips with his finger, like any normal person on the planet was, he does it with his thumb. His right thumb. His greasy right thumb. I realize I have all the evidence I need to prove Leon stole Eddie. Thanks, Milton, I say, as I rush out of the cafeteria. Wait, he says. But there is no time for chit-chat. I only have a few minutes to find Principal Jones before lunch period ends. I'll see you at second recess, I say. If I'm even at second recess, I think. Once I let Principal Jones know that Leon took Eddie, it's possible that she will give me the rest of the day off. It's possible that she will give everyone the rest of the day off. It's really touching how much Milton loves me, but I simply do not have time to talk to him right now. I have a criminal to expose, an owl to rescue, a school to save.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, you guys, Chapter 8 in the books.
Wait.
We are halfway done with our time together on book 1, you guys. Thank you for sticking with us. Yeah.
Point out some fun things.
Let's hear it. Let's see it.
First of all,
yes.
Illustrating for Matthew is hard. Look what he did. He said he is part chicken and part hamster and part motorcycle and part lemonade. I had to figure out how to draw that.
It's not my fault. That's what Leon said. It has nothing to do with me. I was just listening to Leon.
It made it very difficult.
Well, complain to Leon.
I achieved. I think I passed that test.
I like how you drew the bendy straw. I like the bendy straw. Without the bend in the straw, it might not be possible to know what that was. Like that cylinder was something coming out, but with the bendy straw, you're like, oh, it's a drink. Then you're like, it's lemonade.
It's got one hamster leg, one chicken leg. Yeah. It's got chicken wings, the motorcycle wheels. I don't know. I feel like I did good work there. Then the other one was, what were those superheroes that you named?
Oh, Dr. Oblivion.
Oh, yeah.
The Popsicle Pirate and the Killer Koala. Zoom in on those guys. You want to really give yourself some credit here.
They are so funny.
Yeah. It's fun when you write a book, you can make up whatever you want to, you guys. It's really pretty magical. And then if you get to work with an illustrator like Robbie, not only do you get to make them up, but you get to see what they look like without having to decide for yourself. One of the best parts of every process of writing a book for me is finding out what the characters look like. Because I don't really say. I don't tell Robbie every bit of description in detail. I just get to see what kind of madness pops out of her head. And almost always, you guys, the characters look like what I imagine them to look like. It's amazing.
The Popsicle Pirate, his one hand is a popsicle.
Well, of course. Which he can use to either threaten people and get them sticky or have a snack.
And the Killer Koala, he's got his baby koala with him when he goes out and slays with his giant sword.
When she goes out and slays with her giant sword.
Oh. Do Papa Koalas not carry their babies in their pouches?
I think it's part of the baby-making process, Robbie.
Okay.
I think it's a Mama Koala thing.
Well, good.
But somebody else tell us if that's not true. I would love to be proven wrong. I think that's the case. All right.
Okay.
Are you done with this shameless self-congratulations?
Well,
guys, we have built in a little bit of... we need the bigness.
To go back. Here we go.
We've built a little bit of time today we answer your questions about art, writing, or anything else. That is a wide... Please challenge us. What can we ask? What do we have? What do we have?
I don't know if this is a legit question or if it's a joke.
What?
And we're waiting for the punchline.
What?
Sharon says, what is the best part of Switzerland?
What is the best part of Switzerland? Oh, it's a joke. It's a joke. Oh, okay. Let me guess. The best part of Switzerland is the syllable Switz, because it's so fun to say?
Oh.
No? What is it? What is the answer?
I don't know, but it has a big plus on the flag.
Maybe that is the best part. Don't they also have majestic mountains there?
They do.
I want to point out somebody I think is complimenting Matthew, and so we need to stop for a second.
Oh.
Your agendas are brilliant.
Oh.
Thank you, and thank you for reading to us. I do appreciate that. I'm putting this back on because only a genius could create a brilliant agenda. So I need to dignify that.
Well, it turns out that you don't need the hat to be a genius.
I guess that's true. Yeah. That's true. We have I Love Comics. We have what is the no? What did we do to upset somebody?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's C. Albright? What did we do to upset you?
Oh, well, the baby should not know about violence.
Is Moxie based on anybody?
Killer Koala's baby.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Sometimes we're not thoughtful about all those things.
Superhero stories are quite violent.
Okay, so we have a couple.
Yes.
Is Moxie based on anybody? Okay, you guys, so a couple things. Moxie is probably partially based on Alden because she's my daughter, and I started writing this book when she was going to be around Moxie's age. But mostly, you guys, she's sort of me. I am sort of brash and jump to conclusions and don't care much about details.
You're not bossy like she is, though.
In my heart, I am. Silently, I boss you around all the time.
That's true.
But you don't even know.
He's very bossy to me.
That's right.
But he's not bossy to the average person.
I don't like conflict, you guys. And Moxie kind of loves conflict.
Yeah.
So she's not just like me, but I do think... I didn't start writing for this age group until Alden entered this age group. And Moxie and I have a lot in common, and Milton and Robbie have some things in common. So Moxie and Milton's type of relationship is very much our type of relationship, where we have different skills and different ways of looking at the world, and without both of us, we can't do the things that we do together, whether it's parenting or making books or doing the taxes or shoveling the driveway. Do you know how we do this shoveling the driveway together? I stay inside and stay warm, and Robbie shovels the driveway. It's a real collaboration. All right.
All right. Only female koalas have pouches. Now, my second question is, what about kangaroos? Why did I think that kangaroo males carried around their babies in pouches?
Someone do some research. Yeah, why did you choose to only do black and white? It looks so good. So that was not just a question, but a question.
Right,
or either a compliment or a questionment.
Yes.
So, Robbie.
Well, okay, first of all, we did not... Did we choose? Yeah, I guess we chose to do it in black and white.
We knew that the reality was...
The reality is that doing this many illustrations in full color, a 300-page book...
326 pages.
326-page book in full color is very expensive to produce, to make. So for the publishing company to say, we're going to do this in full color, they have to be confident that they're going to be able to sell that book at a price that people will buy it.
And we were brand new authors.
It was our first book, so we pretty much knew that they wouldn't agree to doing a full color book.
But what's the other reason why you would have been kind of sad?
Well, I also... this is true. I'm not very good at color. Color's not my strong suit.
That's not even what I meant, though.
And it takes a really long time to do color.
Yeah.
So these books would have taken a lot longer if I had to do them in full color.
Here's a secret that I hope doesn't disappoint you too much, but many of the comics and graphic novels that you read, one person sort of sketches and designs it. One person does the lettering. Well, one person actually writes the words. Another person does the final line work, and yet another person adds the color. Yeah. So if one person had to do all that, they would have to have all of those skills, and it would take 4 times as long.
Really long time.
So even though we would love to do a full color version of the Real McCoys, it would take so much time that it probably wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah.
So that was a long answer, but hopefully you...
I'm glad that the black and white is appealing. And
why did you make the enemy, the Dublingers, twins instead of one person? It's a good question. I'm sure it has something to do with Greek mythology deep down inside of me, but I think
Are there twins in Greek mythology?
I'm just saying it seems like some sort of primordial balance thing, where you have twins and there's... I'm going to stop with that right now. But I think, mechanically speaking, when you have two people...
who look the same.
It gives you opportunity. I haven't really ever done that, so we're going to need to get some more McCoys. But in Real McCoys Book 3, the Dublingers have a fight with one another. One Dublinger accuses the other of doing badness, and Tammy actually hires Moxie to investigate Tracy, which is very delicious, and Moxie really enjoys it. Moxie has to go undercover as a member of the Wonder Scouts, the group akin to the Girl Scouts, which is not the Girl Scouts, that Moxie swears she never wants to be a part of. So there's a lot of delicious tension. So
I think there's also some delicious discovery when you're dealing with twins. This is the kind of don't judge a book by its cover. But a lot of times, I think I would be interested to hear from some twins. But people assume that you're very much like your twin. I had this with my siblings. People assumed that I would be just like my sister, and I wasn't. And so I think with twins, especially in book 3, you realize that the Dublingers are actually very different from each other.
Can we take a moment and revel in another compliment?
Yeah.
Both of you are some of my favorite people ever. Thank you. Gosh, this is really nice to hear. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Why did you make it? I wonder what Moxie and Milton's secret handshake would be.
In
book 2, Moxie and Emily come up with a secret handshake that they do, and we actually detail some of the moves, one of which is love the slug, and one of which is dump the soup. So, and one is chop the avocado, right? So I think I remember that. So when we get to book 2, if you stick with us, you will learn part of their secret handshake, but it is very important to them, and it's part of, I think it's part of what, anyway.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did not.
This is good. We have some twins here.
Would you rather have pie or cake? Okay, friends. It depends on the kind of pie or the kind of cake.
Pie.
Generally speaking,
Pie.
cake can be so wrong. Yeah, but pie can be wrong too. So, all right. So a really good cheesecake.
The best of
but
cake.
It's sort of hard to call a cheesecake a cake.
The best of cake and the best of pie. Which would you have?
The best of cake. A good, moist carrot cake with cream cheese frosting might be the epitome of delight.
Pie.
A good pineapple upside down cake, saturated in butter and brown sugar. Come on, Robbie.
That is
with
good.
A dollop of vanilla ice cream on the top.
That is good. Not as good as pie.
French silk pie, I get behind. Coconut cream pie,
Any pie.
Yes.
Any
Banana
pie.
cream pie.
Any pie.
No, I don't
There's
like
no
these.
wrong
I don't
pie.
like these fruity pies. I'm not a fruity pie kind of guy. I like a cobbler. A good cobbler has a greater sort of carbohydrate, crusty delight to fruit ratio. When you get into a pie...
I think this was a simple question and could have had a simple answer.
What is Moxie's hair color, Robbie? Moxie's hair color is brown.
Yeah.
A very nondescript brown.
Yeah.
Poor Moxie. In all, how many books have you made? We have made, I believe, 84 books. It depends on how you count a book. We have a book called Mr. Flipper Ate Cod that is very strange. And whether or not you want to dignify it by calling it a book is really a personal decision. It's either 83 or 84, somewhere in there.
We sent that book out to our subscribers, and one of our subscribers' children was so offended by the fact that we had printed it on paper and wasted paper for it.
Did she actually damage the book?
No, she wrote us an essay about how terrible it was.
About how... We wrote Mr. Flipper Liked Cod by my friend David and I writing one word of it back and forth to one another on a chat window in the text. So it's very strange. You know what? We will read Mr. Flipper Loved Cod to you sometime. Because you guys are our older crowd. You're very mature and literary and sophisticated.
There's no swear words in it. I can't remember.
All right. Random question.
Wait. I want to get... We have a couple twins here.
Oh,
and
what?
They are not identical, and they are not all alike.
Good.
That's true.
Yes,
they are their own individual
We
people.
do not want to imply otherwise. Yeah. What season do you like best? Fall, without a doubt, fall. I wish all seasons were fall. I wish it was never anything but fall. And the cold part of fall, not the, oh my gosh, it's still warm part of fall. No, cold fall, leaves falling down from the ground, bleak skies, gray, winter's almost here.
I also agree with fall, but I actually like any turn of seasons. I don't want it to be fall all the time. I love the beginning of fall, the beginning of winter, the beginning of spring, and the beginning of summer. It's that change where I'm like, something new is happening. I really like that.
The end of fall when it's bleak and maybe even starting to sleet.
November.
I like brooding, thunderstormy days the best. Sun. Bleh.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. If we want to end it too, we've got to wrap up.
Okay, we've got to wrap up, but somebody had a good
Are you going to make
idea.
a fourth McCoys book? We are going to want to make a fourth Real McCoys book. I've written it. It's called Moxie Meets Her Match. A boy detective comes to town, joins the 4th grade, thinks he's all that, Moxie, and he loggerheads. Milton falls in love. Mr. Breath does Pilates. Mrs. Breath does Pilates. Wonderful things happen. However, the Real McCoys has to sell more copies before Aaron Stein, our editor, can make a sound business decision.
Aaron Stein.
Well, no, don't lobby Aaron Stein. Go buy lots of copies of the book. Help us get the word out, and then we will. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope so. But right now, you guys are working on Cookie Chronicles. Comes out next spring. About Ben Yokoyama. Robbie just finished book 2 today. Robbie, yay! Yay!
I wonder.
Yay.
Here, I have
another
picture.
one.
I could show you a picture from book 2.
You're going to show them the final picture?
Is that rude?
I don't know, guys. You just have a quick look at it. I think it's spectacular. You're ruining the surprise of everybody, but by the time they see this 2 years from now,
you're not going to remember.
Or a year from now, you won't forget.
There you go.
Look at that. Look at that final glimpse looking out over the countryside. I love this illustration so much.
I finished that at like 3 in the morning.
Robbie.
There were so many little bushes
I love
to
it
draw.
so much. Good work.
All
right. It's been the beginning of summer in Savannah since January. I'm so sorry that you have to live in Savannah.
I'm so glad we don't live in Savannah
I
anymore.
loved living in Savannah for 2 weeks every year in February. There were 2 weeks in February when it was not awful in Savannah.
Oh, good. Puppy is telling everyone to buy more books. Thanks.
Thanks, LP. All right, guys, we got to go.
Yes,
artichokes do rock.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we didn't even, I mean...
Oh, what is the agenda?
You know what? I love that you guys wanted to talk, and who the heck needs an agenda when we're having meaningful discussions?
Wow, Matthew's breaking yeah.
I could sing a little Celine Dion right now if you'd like me to. No?
No.
I bet they want to hear it.
Mm-hmm. What does Celine Dion sing?
I think... no, that's Whitney Houston. I will always love you, El Puppy, yeah. We'll always, at least until tomorrow, love you.
End stream.
I'll work on some... Oh, did you cut?
I didn't push the button.
Oh. Tomorrow we'll sing some Celine. I'll brush up. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye.